Who do you think is the best son in cartoon history? Go ahead, I bet a name just popped right into your head. Maybe it was Bobby Hill, the gold standard of good-hearted kids. But what makes a son S tier versus F tier? To figure it out, we've looked at the behavior of 10 iconic characters, ranking them from the absolute garbage tier sons to the god tier saints. The results are a breakdown of disrespect, cruelty, and surprising kindness that will change how you see these classic cartoons. To create this ranking, we need a baseline. It's a mix of love, respect, and just not being a monster. We'll start at the very bottom, in the F tier, with characters who barely qualify as human, let alone sons. Then we'll work our way all the way up to the S tier, the absolute best of the best. F tier, the monsters. First up, the F tier, a category of evil so profound it barely needs an introduction. If Stewie Griffin is a sociopath, then Eric Cartman from South Park is the Antichrist in a puffy red jacket. There is no line Cartman won't cross. There is no depth he won't sink to. He isn't just a bad son, he's arguably one of the most evil characters in television history. His relationship with his mother Leanne is a horrifying case study in manipulation. Leanne is a permissive, doting mother who gives Eric everything he wants, and has created a monster. And how does Eric repay this? To get revenge on a bully named Scott Tenorman, Cartman arranged for Scott's parents to be murdered, had them ground into chili, and then tricked Scott into eating it. He made a kid eat his own parents. The term bad son feels insultingly inadequate. He is a master manipulator, a narcissist, and a genuine psychopath. Also in the F tier is a character who spent years as a matricidal maniac, Stewie Griffin. For the first several seasons of Family Guy, Stewie had one defining goal: to murder his mother Lois. This wasn't just a running gag, it was a series of detailed and violent plots. He built mind control devices, created killbots, and used an arsenal of weapons that would make a small army jealous. In the infamous two-part episode, Stewie Kills Lois, he finally does it. He tracks her down on a cruise ship and unloads a submachine gun into her. While the show has since softened Stewie, you can't just erase that history. He spent years actively and intelligently trying to murder the woman who gave birth to him. D tier, the delinquents. Now for the D tier. These sons aren't pure evil, but they are genuine Hellions. Here we have the icon, the original bad boy of animation, Bart Simpson. For decades, Bart has been the poster child for rebellion. He's disrespectful, mischievous, and has a special talent for driving his father, Homer, completely insane. He's sold his soul for $5, catfished his own teacher, and even burned down his sister Lisa's Thanksgiving centerpiece out of pure jealousy. But here's the thing about Bart. For all his pranks, there are moments of genuine heart. He's shown deep remorse and is fiercely loyal to his family when it counts. The core of Bart's character isn't evil, it's rebellion. He's a troublemaker, but he's not a monster. Our other D-tier son is the lovable, oafish, and deeply disturbed middle child of the Griffin family, Chris Griffin. For a long time, Chris was just the chubby, awkward kid. But as Family Guy has gone on, Chris has developed a much darker side. His desperation for popularity has led him down some awful paths. In the episode Crisscross, he's caught stealing money from his mother's purse just to buy a pair of cool sneakers. He may seem like a sweet, innocent guy, but his actions prove he's just as capable of selfishness and cruelty as the rest of his family. He's a product of his horrible environment, sure, but that's an explanation, not an excuse. C tier, the self-absorbed. Climbing up to the C tier, we find sons who aren't malicious, just frustratingly self-involved. Kicking off this tier is Steve Smith from American Dad. His relationship with his dad, Stan, is a battlefield of mismatched expectations. Stan wants a football-playing all-American kid, and instead, he got a high-pitched nerd. But being a nerd doesn't make you a bad son. What lands Steve here is his casual selfishness and his often disrespectful attitude towards his mom, Francine. Francine is wildly protective of Steve, but he often treats her as an obstacle or as an embarrassment, only appreciating her when he needs something. He's not actively trying to ruin their lives, but his self-absorption makes him a subpar son. But I guess that's really just teenagers for you. Then there's Kevin Murphy from F is for Family. If Steve is self-absorbed, Kevin is a ball of pure teenage rage and rebellion. His entire existence seems dedicated to doing the opposite of what his dad Frank wants. He's sarcastic, lazy, and profoundly disrespectful. While he shows rare glimpses of caring, he spends most of his time as a walking, weed-smoking embodiment of parental disappointment, firmly planting him in the C tier. Okay, we've survived the worst of the worst. Kids who tried to murder their moms, fed people their own parents, and burned down Thanksgiving, but it gets better from here. Before we climb out of the cartoon underworld and meet the actual decent sons, take a second to smash that like and subscribe button. It helps more than you know. B tier, the flawed but lovable. In the B tier, we have sons who, despite their many issues, show genuine love for their families. Gene Belcher from Bob's Burgers is a total mama's boy. He's eccentric and often a handful, but his love for his family, especially his mom Linda, is the core of his character. He's fiercely supportive and brings a chaotic but positive energy to the Belcher clan. Alongside him is Morty Smith from Rick and Morty. Given that his grandfather constantly drags him across the galaxy, putting him in near-death situations, you couldn't blame Morty for being a little messed up. And he is. But despite all the trauma, Morty still fundamentally cares about his family. He often has a stronger moral compass than Rick and tries to do the right thing, showing a deep-seated love that survives even the most insane circumstances. A tier, the high achievers. Now we're getting to the truly good sons. The A tier is for those who are mature, responsible, and build incredible bonds with their family. Dipper Pines from Gravity Falls is the perfect example. He's intelligent, brave, and consistently puts his family's well-being before his own. Throughout the series, he navigates mysteries and dangers, all while strengthening his relationship with his sister Mabel and great-uncle Stan. He builds this bond through mutual respect, making him a truly admirable son and brother. S tier, the gold standard. Finally, we arrive at the peak, the S tier. This spot is for the gold standard, the character who defines what a good son should be. Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. Bobby is the polar opposite of his father Hank. He isn't athletic, he isn't into manly things, and he often doesn't make a lot of sense to his dad. But that's what makes him so great. He's kind-hearted, endlessly supportive of his parents, and though his dad doesn't always get him, Bobby is consistently respectful. And in the episode, and they call it Bobby Love, Bobby goes out of his way to defend his mother after kids at school make fun of her Spanish skills. He refuses to laugh along, instead standing by her with genuine pride. He's true to himself without ever being cruel or malicious. He's the S-tier son. So there you have it, the full spectrum of animated sons, from the psychopathic evil of the F tier to the unimpeachable goodness of the S tier. The gap between a kid who feeds someone their own parents and a kid who is just trying to make his dad proud is immeasurable. Eric Cartman and Bobby Hill are on two different planes of existence. But that's our take. What do you think? Did we get the tiers right? Is there a character even more despicable than Cartman hiding out there? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this trip through cartoon dysfunction, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what we break down next.